The road to the playoffs for the Chicago Bears begins now. Bears versus Lions at Soldier Field this Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Bears almost pulled this off 3 weeks ago on the road at Ford Field against the Lions. And now with their first NFC North win in 2 years under their belt before the bye week after beating the Minnesota Vikings 12-10, they're hungry for more. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, thank you for tuning in. And you have myself and my co-host, Tony Cepeda, for this Bears versus Lions preview to talk more about this game first, since the Bears bye, and how particularly a playoff game for the rest of the season, but it all starts this Sunday. Defense was on a rampage last time while taking away 3 interceptions from Jared Goff, along with getting after him, and he sure hasn't forgotten. Tony, how are you feeling walking into Sunday's matchup?
Well, considering we basically secured the first pick with Mitchie Two Thumbs losing to the Patriots, we might as well go all in at this point. Burn the damn boats. We beat the Lions for 59 minutes last time. As Herb Brooks once said, we could beat these guys, I believe. Before we begin today's show, and if you are excited for this Sunday's NFC North matchup, smash that like button below to show your excitement. Throw your predictions in the comments section below.
You heard the man. We want to hear how you're feeling ahead of Sunday's game, after especially what happened last time. Who's in and who's out for this Sunday's game, the matchup rankings between the Bears and the Lions, and Tony's 3 keys to the game. So, Tony, let's get things started. What happened last time for the Bears to fall apart in the last couple minutes against the Lions?
Yeah, so Justin Fields was awesome through 3 quarters, but then Luke Getsy closed the playbook and played coward ball. It was some of the best play calling, honestly, he's had as a Bears offensive coordinator. Got to give him credit for that. But then a couple drives ended in field goals instead of touchdowns. Nick, you mentioned the takeaways. We should have capitalized on that. Would have put the game away. And the Bears defense put on an absolute clinic on how not to play defense. Blowing that lead, losing the game. So, again, we won that game, but then we lost it.
I mean, the Lions are a beatable team. I mean, the next week, the Packers, who honestly, first of all, I got to pump the brakes on everyone thinking Jordan Love's legit. He's had 3 good games in a row, and only one of them has had 300-plus yards. Just putting that out there. Fields has had more 300-plus yards in the last 17 games than, Jordan Love has in the last 30 games, or whatever many games that he's actually started. So just pumping the brakes there for everybody. I mean, the Packers did beat them. Packers defense is heating up, that's for sure. But I'm not scared of the Packers in Week 18. I'm not scared of the Lions this upcoming week. I think the Lions are a super beatable team. They almost blew it themselves against the Saints last week. So, they're playing scared right now. They know that they're under a ton of pressure. But, Tony, what is it about this team that is going to be the main factor? I know you're going into your 3 keys to the game in a little bit, but what is going to be the main factor that they need to change this upcoming game to beat the Lions?
Honestly, they have to just do what they did for the first 3 quarters. Like I mentioned, this is going to be, a pretty obvious thing. I think everyone's saying it, but it is true. That's why we have to say it. Let Fields run the ball. Obviously, he gashes the Lions every time we played, not just the last time when he runs the ball. And don't take your foot off the brake when you're winning, or even if it's just a tie game, whatever it is. Don't play coward football. Don't play not to lose. You play to win the game.
You mean take your foot off the gas, right? Or you could take it off the brake. Technically, don't take your foot off the brake.
Yes.
Don't,
all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. Okay, Tony got it. Okay. But, okay, so then we got who's in and who's out for this upcoming Sunday's game. A couple key guys are going to be back for the Chicago Bears, and one that's kind of new that wasn't really expecting, but we have D'Onta Foreman, running back, who's going to be back this week for the Chicago Bears, along with Tyreek Stevenson as well. Noah Sewell is going to be playing as well, going against his brother, who plays for the Detroit Lions. And then Larry Borom, who honestly is a decent depth piece who's been important to this Bears roster the last couple of years. He will be back to go. And that's what we need to have, especially D'Onta Foreman. Edge Yannick Ngakoue is limited this week in practice, making him questionable, but I think that he will be playing this upcoming Sunday. So stay tuned for that Sunday's call, which we will be doing a pregame show is where we're going to have that official announcement on Ngakwe's status. And then Equanimeous St. Brown, wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, the only one that's actually above 6'2", unfortunately is doubtful for this upcoming Sunday's game with a pectoral injury. So he won't be able to go against his brother, but we'll see. If he somehow makes it, doubtful is not a no. That's how we're going to say it. And a lot of people are saying the Bears are doubtful to win. That's not a no. Bears are going to win this upcoming game. We'll just put that out there. And then for the Lions, the only big injury that is not on the IR is Malcolm Rodriguez, who is their linebacker, who's likely not to play. But a big injury, Tony, that the Lions sustained this past week was defensive tackle Aleem McNeil, and he is out on IR for the next 4 weeks, the Lions' best defensive tackle. And with D'Onta Foreman coming back, how is the game plan going to change a little bit for the Bears?
You're just going to have to smash the ball down their throat with D'Onta Foreman. I mean, we've seen him do it multiple times this year, and I almost feel bad for Foreman because he's getting these little contracts every year with all these teams, and then they just run him into the ground because he keeps producing. So he's almost doing it to himself, like some of these injuries and some of these and just being so out of breath is because he keeps performing better than everyone he's starting over or playing over. And yeah, we just got to feed him the ball. I love how hard he runs. He doesn't care. He's going to run through your face, and that's what we need him to do. So open up the passing game, and we'll kind of get into that in the 3 keys. That's what he's got.
I'm excited for D'Onta Foreman to be back. I think that he's a big piece, and also Khalil Herbert's 100% now, so you're going to have a good duo back there. And, you know, the matchup rankings are actually very favorable for the Chicago Bears. So on the offensive side of the ball, the Bears rank 20th overall in offensive yards. The Lions are second at the moment. Shout out Ben Johnson, potentially the Bears' next head coach. Maybe, we'll see. But the Bears passing game is ranked 25th. That number is rising, though. They were 29 3 weeks ago. So the Bears passing game is going up, and they did a pretty good job last time against the Lions, who have a respectful pass defense. Lions passing is ranked 4th. Jared Goff looks really good in that Lions offense. Bears rushing is ranked 3rd overall. Lions is 4th overall. And then you have the Bears 21st in points, which they were 30th after week 4. So in the last 8 games, the Bears have jumped 9 spots. The Lions are 6th. So they do put up a lot of points. We know that from last time. Bears need to stop them late in the 4th in order to not give up any more points. But the Bears defense on the other end and the Lions defense, pretty well matched. Bears have the edge. They're the 11th overall ranked defense in the NFL. Lions are 14th. Bears passing against the pass is 25th. That number, I think that number should be definitely turned down a little bit. The last 3 weeks, Bears have 7 interceptions, or last 2 weeks, Bears have 7 interceptions. So they're definitely upping the passing game from a defensive standpoint. Lions passing defense, not much better, 21st, but that's been consistent. Bears rush defense is number 1. They are only giving up 13 yards a game after contact on average this entire season. So Bears rush defense is going to be a huge factor. Lions rushing defense is ranked 5th. I'm not too worried about that, though. Bears are 27th in points. Lions are 23rd in points, though. So a big matchup there. Lions offense outplays Chicago's for sure, but the defense is going to be where things are fun. It's going to be a super fun game overall, and I'm excited about it. But that leads into Tony's 3 keys to the game.
Yes, and don't forget, I absolutely nailed my 3 keys against the Vikings. Predicted exactly what Josh Dobbs would do. Also hit a 4-leg parlay. Not a big deal. So, first key. Step on their damn throats when you have the chance. Let your foot off the brake. Don't let your foot off the gas. Just to clear that up from earlier, these Lions are the cardiac cats. They do not quit. Dan Campbell won't let them. Don't let them get back into the game. Second key, find creative ways to run the ball with Justin Fields like you did last time. We ran all these awesome plays. Luke Getsy gets all the credit for those first 3 quarters. These plays were setting up future deep shots multiple times versus the Lions. Do it again. Keep doing that. Third key, take shots downfield. So once you set up those plays, you got to capitalize on them. So with all the screen pass talk, we have forgotten that screen passes, they can be decent. Like, obviously, we're saying no screens, no screens, no screens. I don't disagree with that when they're called at the right time, not all the time, like Getsy's been doing. Deep shots, they'll open up everything underneath. Then you can throw those little dump offs to D'Onta Foreman, to Khalil Herbert. So those are my 3 keys.
I mean, I think they're all fair, and that's literally what could have been done. If you had the same game plan minus what you just put out, Tony, the Bears would have won the last game against the Lions. So I think it's a winnable game. It's at Soldier Field. Lions are wimps and play in a dome, whatever. So it's not fair football. But I will say this, is that I think it's going to still be a high-scoring game. I think the Bears are going to put up 30 on this Detroit defense. They know what the defense is going to run at them. They don't have their best defensive tackle. So like you said, run the ball down their throat. And also, let's just have fun with D'Onta Foreman and Khalil Herbert in the backfield. Also, let Justin Fields rip it upfield. That's what works. But Tony, before we close out, what is the score prediction for the game?
27-24 Bears. It's going to be close. I think they're going to kind of get back in it at the end, the Lions. But I think we learned from our last game, learned from our mistakes, and we hold them off at the end.
I'm with you. I think 27-24 is a good score. I'm going to go 32, random score for the Bears. So, just having a little bit of fun with it. And then I think the Lions are still going to put up 24. But Detroit's going to put themselves in a hole out of the gate. Chicago loves taking that opening kickoff, and they're going to score on the first drive, and that's going to be the momentum of the game. So I'm excited. But Tony, any last comments for the fans before we close out?
No, not really. I think we got to win out. That's all we got to do. Why not? Why not at this point? I don't know if we're going to, but we got to try. We got the first pick. Let's just win some damn games, sneak into the playoffs.
Well, also, this is the toughest game technically on the schedule from a record standpoint. So if Chicago wins this game, it's wide open for them. And also our playoff chances go from 1% to 40, I think. It's a crazy stat. As long as Green Bay loses, because then we're within one game of Green Bay, then we need Minnesota to lose, because if they lose to the Raiders, we own the tiebreaker then over Minnesota because we beat the Raiders. And then suddenly our playoffs look a lot prettier. So I'm excited for that.
The hunt.
Bears are in the hunt. I don't care what people say. Bears are in the hunt. But Tony, thanks for tuning in or coming on to this episode. As always, your insight is greatly appreciated. And thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, joined alongside my good friend and co-host Tony Cepeda. We'll see you guys next time.